and welcome to The Diplomat. I'm your host, Kang Sanu. 5 billion Asians will unite in the name of sports in coming August at the 2018 Asian Games held in Jakarta and Palembang in Indonesia. Therefore, this week on The Diplomat, we are going to invite Indonesian Ambassador Umar Hadi to learn more about the preparation process and status of Korea-Indonesia relations.
정상의 공동 언론 발표문을
Hello, Ambassador Umar Hadi. It's a great pleasure to have you on our show. Would you like to say hello to our viewers?
Hello, everyone. It's good to be here.
Thank you. As I mentioned in the opening, soon the whole Asia will be focused on Indonesia as it will host 2018 Asian Games. How are preparation going?
Very well. As you know, the Asian Games will be held starting on the 18th of August this
18th
year.
of August, okay.
And it will be in two cities. One in Jakarta, one in Palembang.
Oh, I see.
Palembang is in another island called Sumatra. It's like 1.5 to 2 hour flight from Jakarta. The Indonesian people are looking forward to host these games, and the government is working very hard to ensure that all preparations are on the way. All government officials to really work hard to make sure that the Asian Games will be a successful event.
Right, sure. So what does Indonesia hope to achieve from this event?
Well, of course, we want to be a good host. That's first and foremost.
Right.
We want to ensure that all the athletes from our friendly countries, the participants, they can enjoy, first of all, being in Indonesia, and also they can do their best in their games, in the sport.
Right. Interestingly, you actually wrote a thesis about Seoul Olympic in 1988, right? What inspired you to write that thesis, and what was it exactly about?
It was 1989, so 1 year after the Summer Olympics in Seoul. Of course, as a young man at the time, I studied international relations. For me, the fact that South Korea, at the time still a developing country, managed to host such a big world event was something very amazing. I found out that Summer Olympics 1988 was also a kind of a symbol of a nation, a country, to say to the world, look, we've made it. And I think it was done so beautifully. And again, that's why when the Winter Olympics this year took place, it was also very successful. And I think also it said something to the world, which in my book, and I read it as, look, we are ready for a peaceful Korean Peninsula.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about culture.
Sure.
And you previously mentioned culture as an excellent medium for active civilian exchanges. Can you elaborate on this, please?
You know, in the relationship between two countries, of course, economics are important, business is important, politics is important. But at the end of the day, it's about human-to-human relations.
Right.
And that's why culture is, I think, one of the most important assets. Having been living in Korea for a year now, I can sense and I can feel how important culture is to Koreans. Not only in terms of art scenes or performing arts like K-pop, but I think it's deeper than that. It's about way of life, it's about how a nation see itself yesterday, today, and in the future. And this is where I think also Indonesia and Korea can complement each other, because Indonesia is a diverse nation. We have a lot of different cultures in Indonesia, and we can enrich each culture in Indonesia, but at the same time we are also developing a kind of one Indonesian culture. So while in Korea, I think it's more homogeneous, not that much diversity. But then from history, the culture in Korea has grown since a long, long time ago. And now you have already very developed culture as one Korea. And I think there are some things, complementarities that we can work together.
Right, I cannot agree with you more. Talking about culture, how big the Korean wave is in Indonesia?
Very big. I can give you one very simple illustration.
Please.
When in the first week that I arrived in Seoul last year, Mr. Lee Suman, the chairman of SM Entertainment, invited me to this EXO concert. Right?
EXO concert? Wow,
Yes.
you're so lucky.
Yeah, I was so lucky. And at the time, my daughter was still in Los Angeles. She had not joined us yet. So I went there by myself. And then, they gave me this. Now I know the name is Light Stick.
Yep.
EXO Light Stick. But at the time I didn't know what it was
What
called.
this is for,
No,
yeah.
I'm too old for. Of course, they took a picture of me with that light stick. And then I put it on my Facebook page. And then my daughter, of course, she took that page and put it on her social media. And just like that, in Indonesia, all the chat rooms and social media in Indonesia, it became viral. And basically, the ambassador was there, but he doesn't know what, even he didn't know what it is called, because of K-pop is now very popular in Indonesia.
Right. I feel so thankful to Indonesian people for enjoying our Korean pop culture, and it's like amazing how culture can bring people together.
Yes.
Beyond border and beyond nationalities.
Yes. And I think Korean culture now is not only big in Indonesia or Southeast Asia, it's everywhere in the world.
Right.
My daughter took me to this TV program, recording of a TV program that BTS was there. And I'm told that BTS just made a big success in the United States. I think it broke the record
yeah.
Billboard chart, and they are planning a big European tour. Can you imagine? It's just so huge. It's everywhere
it's
now.
Amazing, yeah. Now, vice versa, I also know that you're actively spreading Indonesian culture to Korea. And recently you organized this event for Indonesian residing in Korea and foreign ambassadors and Korean as well. Can you tell us more about this event?
First of all, in the embassy, from time to time, we hold events, cultural events, open to everybody. We also started last year a class to learn how to play the Indonesian traditional musical instruments called the gamelan for the Korean students. We also opened a class for Indonesian language for free. Anybody can join. And you know, we have around 40,000 Indonesians living in Korea right now, in so many different cities in Korea, from Seoul to Busan. You know, Indonesians are very close-knit. Usually they get together with fellow Indonesians and they do things together. And many of them would then form a kind of art group. We have few dance groups, we have few music groups. So I also encourage them to, you know, to take this art culture as their way of expressing themselves. For me, it's important that we enjoy it ourselves, but then other people can also enjoy the event with us.
Right. So shall we take a glimpse of that event?
Let's go.
All right.
Every year after Ramadan, the Embassy of Indonesia in Seoul hosts a big event for Indonesian people in Korea. This year, it took place on June 16th and was attended by some 400 people. Let's take a look at this grand event. Eid al-Fitr is an important religious holiday marking the end of Ramadan, the Islamic holy month of fasting, and it's observed by Muslims worldwide. Indonesians celebrate the holiday with dance and music.
Like singing Indonesian songs and watching the dance, Indonesian traditional dance.
And actually, I play for Indonesian traditional instrument like before. There in gamelan, we have that kind of event. Like every week, we play or dance Indonesian traditional song, Indonesian traditional dance, kind of like that.
The Indonesian Embassy runs a cultural center that teaches the country's own traditions.
We have Indonesians here as well, but also a lot of Korean people and all kinds of people from all over the world likes to come here and see the culture as well. It's a big holiday in Indonesia, so it's very nice to feel like home as well here in Korea that we have this event as well.
The event included Indonesian traditional dance, music, food, and beverages, so the guests could have a taste of home.
I found so many Indonesian people in here because before I'm just alone to work in Korea, and I'm so happy can celebrate the Ramadan Eid Fitri with Korean people too.
In addition to Korea's Indonesian residents, there were ambassadors and officials from the embassies of Myanmar, Brunei, Thailand, and the United Kingdom.
My wife Nila and I are very happy to share this joyous day, the Eid al-Fitr with you. So once again, thank you very much, and have a pleasant day.
It was a wonderful moment to share together over authentic Indonesian cuisine.
think it's a good occasion for the ambassador here, because the Indonesian ambassador does not invite just only the Muslim country. You know, I can meet the UK ambassador and also like Cambodian ambassador. So I think, well, this is a very open-minded country. The ambassador is very open-minded, and if you see in the other room, you can see the Borobudur. That is the Buddhist temple in Indonesia. We know that Indonesia is the biggest Muslim country, but actually Indonesia is very open-minded country. So I really respect the people of Indonesia.
Beyond language and religion, this event brought everyone together and showed the power of culture as a dynamic tool in social, economic, and diplomatic development.
So we've just taken a glimpse of this year's commemoration of Eid al-Fitr. Are you happy with the event? It looks like a great success.
We like doing it, we enjoy ourselves because it creates an atmosphere of brotherhood, sisterhood, or solidarity. And of course, at the same time, we also show to our neighbors, to our Korean friends, Indonesian culture is very open and very friendly. So yeah, and I know that, right now, the number of Korean nationals living in Indonesia is the largest number among foreigners.
Wow.
I think around 50 to 60,000 Koreans living in Indonesia. So, there are many Koreans that already know about, Indonesian food, Indonesian culture, arts. So they come here and they enjoy the celebration with us.
Right. And also Indonesia is one of the #1 travel destination for Koreans. And I believe with some 430,000 people travel to Indonesia every year. They truly admire the beauty of Indonesia's nature. Do you have any further plans?
Well, actually, we want more Koreans to visit Indonesia and also more Indonesians to visit Korea. By the way, the number of Indonesians visiting Korea in a year also growing very fast.
Right.
I think last year we had around 350,000 Indonesians, tourists, to Korea, because more and more Indonesians can afford to go to other countries.
Right.
So yeah, we need to do more to invite more Koreans to Indonesia. I think aside from natural beauty and the diversity of these natural sceneries, Indonesia is a tropical country, right? Supposed to be no snow, right?
Right.
But in the island of Papua in the east, we have a mountain called Jaya Wijaya, where you have a snow cap.
Snow cap.
And it's all year. How to say it? All year long.
All year round. Yeah.
All year round. There is snow on top of the Mount Jaya Wijaya.
That must be so beautiful.
And then we have one of the most beautiful underwater scenery, because Indonesia is also home to one of the largest, if not the largest, coral varieties underwater.
Right. So President Moon Jae-in made his state visit to Indonesia in November last year, and Indonesia was his first destination for the ASEAN member countries. What was your feeling about that?
I'm very proud and very happy that President Moon Jae-in decided to come to Indonesia first. I think it was his first official state visit to anywhere. So we are very happy about this. We are very proud, and this, I think, proved the commitment from President Moon Jae-in to have a new policy towards the Southeast Asian countries.
Right.
And I think this is a match made in heaven. I mean, Korea has some advantages that can be beneficial to countries in Southeast Asia, including Indonesia. But on the other hand, Indonesia can offer a lot of opportunities for Korean businesses, for example.
Right. You just mentioned that Korea and Indonesia is like heaven matched.
Yes.
What kind of partner is Korea for Indonesia?
Yeah, and I think the most important thing is the fact that demographically we are complementary, right? In Korea, you have an older generation with experience and technology, and in Indonesia, you have a young population with better education now. I think that's just a matter of finding the right partners, and boom, you can have very mutually beneficial ventures. So I see, for example, in the manufacturing industry. Of course, you know, in Korea, because of the demographic situation, it becomes harder and harder for small and medium factories in Korea to find good workers, but then also affordable workers. That's why right now you invite foreign workers to Korea. But it's too much work. Why not just move the factory to Indonesia? You have good workers in Indonesia and more affordable. And also, if you move your production facility to Indonesia, you are closer either to your market or to your source of, to your natural source, natural resource, right? So it will make your business more efficient. The key point is try to find the best local partner. And that's why the Embassy of Indonesia in Seoul is now open to business. We provide services to entrepreneurs, to businesses from A to Z. There will be also collaborations on more specific details.
I see. How do you want to be remembered as Indonesian ambassador after your term in Korea?
Actually, the terms of office of an ambassador is very short. It's only 3 years. The first year you try to get to know people. The second year you start to know everybody. And the third year you have to pack your things and go home. But I always value friendships. So I think on a more personal level, I just want to be remembered as a good friend. But on a more broader level, today is the perfect timing for two countries to place the basis, the foundation of what now we call spatial strategic partnership, so that the two countries will benefit from the relationship.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for your time today, Ambassador.
Thank you.
Thank you.
as long as people keep talking to each other, then the world will have a better future. And as long as we talk to each other, I think whatever issues, whatever problems we have, we can always find the solution.